Transurfing Curious. I am Renee Garcia, and this is my video on the benefits of magical thinking. So there's quite a negative association with rose-colored lenses. I know I've been accused in the last 5 years since finding Reality Transurfing of walking around with rose-colored lenses on, or like somebody just messaged me a few days ago, oh, well, that would be nice if I could just walk around with my head in the clouds. And I was like, whoa, this is so weird that it's actually perceived as a negative by some people. And I decided to create this video, The Benefits of Magical Thinking, to really debunk why people think it's negative and what it is exactly, because I really don't think that it's what people think it is, which is you sort of living like an ostrich with your head stuck in the sand, or you not being fully aware of reality as most people are. I think it's actually the opposite. I think people that are into magical thinking, like myself, are more aware of what reality actually is and are more grounded in reality in the present moment in a way that is more true. Now, I know we don't really want to view our perspective or our worldview as the right one and somebody else's as the wrong, but I'm just going to state here, if mine's working for me and I feel I'm actually more engaged with the present moment and seeing more results in my life of achieving what it is that I want, or having what I want, or being what I want, or all this different stuff, I'm sorry, I do actually kind of view mine as being a little bit superior. My perspective is being superior to someone's that doesn't think very highly of their reality or lacks magical thinking. So I am going to talk about the 3 concepts that I feel really need to be highlighted in the transurfing modality to get yourself into a super magical thinking mode, and how this helps in you creating your own reality. So the concepts that I'm going to talk about are signs, the flow, and goals and doors. Okay, so first I want to state that in order for you to be involved with any of this, especially signs and goals and doors, but also the flow, but in order for you to really understand and utilize any of this stuff, your awareness level has to be pretty high. You are not going to see these things if you are sucked into the outer screen for extended periods of time. And you are not going to see these things if you are pulled into your internal screen for extended periods of time. Now remember, the outer screen is our outer world. This is the stuff that captivates us. This is the stuff that sucks us in. This is pendulums, media, family, you know, your professional realm. This is all the stuff that exists outside of you that you can get kind of lost to. And when you do get sucked in a way where you lose a certain level of awareness, you will not see signs. You will not see the alternatives flow leading you in specific directions, and you definitely will not see goals and doors because you are focused on something else. You are focused, your energy, your attention is captivated by the outer screen. Now, if you are an internal thinking person, if you are overly consumed by your thoughts or anxiety, if you're an overthinker, all this stuff, you are going to miss the signs, you are going to miss the flow, and you are going to miss the goals and doors. So the center screen is the best place to access this stuff and really harness and utilize the power of magical thinking. That's really what this stuff equates to, is the foundation for you to really get into some layers of reality that are quite magical. So how does this happen exactly? And what exactly, when you are in the center screen, what does creating your own reality look like via these concepts and a more magical way of thinking? So if you are in the center screen, you are open to the influence of your world and outer intention. This means that you know and acknowledge that all of the best that the world has to offer you is not going to come from your own inner intention. This is your world taking care of you. This is your world offering you opportunity. This is your world leading you in the right direction, or in a higher direction rather, if you want to look at the reality transurfing sort of model that I like to see reality from, which is the life tracks sort of layered, stacked on top of each other. And my intention as a transurfer is to ascend to some of those higher life tracks. So how I get to those higher life tracks is via the alternatives flow, right? This is me trusting my world and staying tuned in that all the best is going to come to me via my world, outer intention, the alternatives flow, not from my inner screen or my inner intention thinking mind. Lots and lots and lots of very magical, cool stuff has happened to me trusting the alternatives flow, giving in to this flow. Again, the antithesis of the flow is you having elevated levels of importance that keep you clinging to that rock, that imaginary rock that you feel you need to cling on to see something in your reality that maybe isn't going to come via you clinging on to that rock. It's you letting go of that rock, letting go of expectations, letting go of elevated importance levels, trusting the flow, and giving in to where the world wants to take you. Since I have been a reality transurfer, my world has only led me up. It has never led me down. So the flow is only positive. Now, how I interpret or take in information via the alternatives flow, what I'm listening to show me the way, are the signs that are presented to me. This could be people telling me something, right? Somebody saying, hey, Renee, have you ever tried this? Or, oh, Renee, there's this cool course on becoming your own publicist I think you might be interested in. That is a sign that is coming to me via the flow, and I am in the habit, I am in the practice of listening, okay? So the magical thinking is that all of this stuff is going to come to me in the right ways at the right times, always. And all I need to do is stay dialed in to the flow and look for the signs. And in the meantime, lots of other cool stuff pops up that helps me to feel as though my reality truly is a magical place. I see all sorts of things I never saw before in my reality, cool visuals and interesting little things that boost my mood or my mentality because I'm tuned in to that frequency that my world is in fact magical. Now, where goals and doors come into play here. Again, if you are sucked into your inner screen or your outer screen, you are going to miss the doors or even possibly a big goal that's intended for you. Had I been in the practice of just using inner intention when transurfing came my way, it would have just flowed right by, right? I have to really open myself up and stay aware of what different things are presenting themselves to me that are in line with my soul frail, something about a passion or a feeling or a sensation that I love, or something that feels like it ignites me in that moment. I am not going to gain that sense if I am in my inner screen or my outer screen. So being in the center screen, having my thoughts be of a magical nature, this is really going to help me see the goals that are presented to me via my world, and the doors, which are, you know, the path that helps me to get to that place. So these are the three things that I like to focus on to keep my thinking of a magical quality. And when I keep my thinking of a magical quality, it really does help me to see more stuff that's in line with my ultimate intentions. So before I leave the video, I want to extend to you a little exercise I call seeing my magic. And what I do is every single day, I try to spot at least one thing that I perceive to be of a magical quality. It could be a light prism somewhere, it could be a rainbow, it could be an oddly colored bird singing a song, just something that I can tune into, that I can say to myself, there is my magic. If I can do this exercise every single day and call out at least one sort of exceptional event or little thing that happens on my layer of reality that I perceive as magical, it helps me stay dialed into all this stuff, helps me keep my awareness in that center screen, and it helps me to really utilize the power of magical thinking for my benefit in my reality creation. Because remember, the first step in creating your own reality is to acknowledge that that version of reality exists. And if you are lacking in imagination or a magical way of thinking, it is going to be challenging for you to acknowledge a wonderful or magical version of reality that does in fact exist for you. So let me know your thoughts on this video, everyone, and remember to like this video if you do in fact like it, and comment below "My world is taking care of me" to enter my daily giveaway for some of my reprogramming stickers. Thank you so much for watching my video, everyone. Bye.